You ever see a moment so humiliating, so raw, you just know you'll never forget it no matter how much you want to? That's what this day was for me, and I wasn't even the one on the ground. It all started with Linda Parker, Fort Bragg's so-called most useless contractor. That's what everyone said anyway. Every morning, soldiers would crowd around, elbowing each other, tossing jokes like grenades, watching her get stuck with the filthiest, most degrading jobs. It was almost a sport to see who could come up with the meanest jab. And then you had guys like Sergeant Jake Morrison, built like a linebacker, tattoos up his arm's voice that could rattle windows, who made it his personal mission to break her spirit. "Hey, repair lady, you want us real soldiers to show you how to handle a man's weapon?" Jake would bellow, and the whole crowd would just lose it, louder, crueler, like sharks circling blood in the water. You could see it in the way Linda's hands would tremble, but not like she was scared, more like she was trying to hold something back, squeezing her wrench so tight her knuckles turned white, breathing slow, lips moving as she counted under her breath. "Yes, sir," she'd finally say, voice soft but steady, and you'd feel this weird sense she was holding back a storm. Day after day, they gave her the worst jobs. Hauling ammo in the blazing sun while they lounged around cleaning toilets they'd wrecked on purpose, fixing up tool sheds that got trashed again the second she finished. Every bit of it meant to grind her down, make her quit, prove that a woman didn't belong on their turf. But what nobody realized, not yet anyway, was Linda survived it all with this odd patience. She'd tune out the noise slip into her own world, using tricks no one at Fort Bragg would recognize. Breathing in sets of 4, imagining a lake so still nothing could touch it, locking each insult in a box for later. Sometimes if you looked close, you'd catch hints. Scars across her knuckles, calluses that said she'd held more than just a wrench, a way of moving that never lost track of an exit. Still, nobody intervened. It wasn't their business. And besides, this was military right, toughen up or go home. But Linda wasn't just tough. She was something else entirely. One Tuesday, Jake decided to go big. He strutted out with a sniper rifle, expensive as hell, deliberately sabotaged bent barrel sand in the trigger chamber jammed. He put it right in her hands and smirked. "Fix this if you're so smart. $100 if you do, if not bathroom duty for a month." The guys pressed in, ready for the show. Except Linda didn't panic. She handled that rifle like it was an old friend, tracing each part with her fingers, eyes half closed, almost like she could hear the metal talking to her. Her voice, when it came, was quiet but cut through the air. Barrels bent 3 degrees, carbons packed in the rifling. Recoil springs been compressed vice, probably. Firing pins cracked. Sand in the trigger. Every word was a hammer blow. The soldiers fell dead silent. That wasn't just luck or book learning, that was a lifetime of experience. Even Jake's grin faded. Somebody whispered, "How the hell does she know that?" For a second, you could have heard a pin drop. And in that silence, something in the air changed. Jake, of course, wasn't having it. Bullshit. You read that somewhere. No way you figured that out by touch. But even as he protested, you could tell he wasn't sure anymore. Linda stood, and for just a heartbeat, you saw her whole bearing shift. Shoulders squared stance, balanced eyes cold and sharp, like she was measuring every threat in the room. You could feel the danger. And then it was gone, like a door slamming shut, and she shrank back, hands shaking. The rumor mill went wild after that. Soldiers started sneaking their busted gear to Linda, sometimes to challenge her, sometimes just to see if the stories were true. Every time she fixed them fast, perfect, no fuss, it got people talking. Who was she really? And why the hell did she put up with all the crap? Turns out someone else was asking the same questions, Commander David Sullivan. The guy moved with that Navy SEAL energy, eyes always scanning, never missing a beat. He started digging, ran Linda's name through channels so deep you needed clearance just to hear about them. The answer he got back made his blood run cold. Her files were sealed tighter than the Pentagon's basement, higher than his own clearance. Finally, he founded a classified operation codenamed Shadow. supposedly dead 5 years back in Afghanistan. The only woman to finish Hell Week. Medals refused statement left behind. Medals belong to the dead. David watched her fix another rifle, catching a glimpse of a tattoo under her sleeve, one only 12 people on Earth were authorized to have. He knew 11 of them. The 12th was sitting 20 feet away, fixing weapons and scrubbing floors. He struggled with it. Should he blow her cover risk, shattering whatever fragile piece she'd found, or let her keep hiding, even if it meant letting the abuse continue? That question ate at him, but when he saw Jake start in on her again, it was too much. He crossed the range, voice cutting like a blade. Chief Petty Officer Linda Parker. The words slammed into the crowd like a grenade. Guys snapped to attention. Salutes shot up everywhere except from Linda, who stood trembling, saying, "I'm not Chief Petty Officer anything. I just fix what's broken." David wasn't done. He told them this was Shadow the legend behind modern hostage rescue, the architect of strategies that had saved hundreds, the woman who'd vanished after saving 23 lives in Syria while her team got wiped out. When Linda rolled up her sleeve, the room saw the tattoo, a Navy SEAL trident, 4 stars for 4 major ops, and below them 3 names, her brothers in arms, the ones she hadn't brought home. The silence that followed was different. Not shame, not even guilt, just pure cold understanding. These men had tormented a legend. Jake tried to deny it, but then the final gut punch landed. Turns out one of those names was his own brother, Marcus Williams. Jake's voice cracked as he realized Marcus was my brother. We grew up in foster care. I pushed him to enlist. I always blamed whoever survived when he didn't. Linda, voice broken, told him about Marcus's last act, saving a child under fire, dying a hero. Both of them on their knees in front of everyone, grief and regret pouring out in a confession that stripped them bare. He wrote about you in every letter, Jake said, called you his guardian angel. Linda could barely get the words out. He said to tell you he was brave. That moment, 2 broken people united by the same loss, finally seeing each other for the first time, no one watching would ever forget. The fallout was immediate. The base commander swooped in Jake's clearance, suspended investigations, launched everyone who'd piled on, got hauled in front of boards. But when Linda was asked if she wanted charges pressed, she said punishment won't bring Marcus back, but education might stop it happening again. Instead, she offered to run a special training program for female SEAL candidates on one condition: Jake had to attend every session. She showed those women what real leadership looked like, never boasting, never lecturing, just working beside them, lifting them up. Even Jake changed. By graduation, he stood before the crowd and said, "I learned strength isn't about breaking others down, but lifting them up. Chief Parker taught me the strongest warriors protect the vulnerable." He started a scholarship in his brother's name. Linda's methods were adopted across the military. Female recruitment soared. Linda, though, quietly vanished again, leaving only a note. Heroes are those who don't come home. Honor them by being better. 6 months later, at the next graduation, a shadow lingered at the edge of the crowd as Jake handed out the Marcus Williams Award. Linda didn't stay. She didn't need applause. She just wanted others to make it home. Maybe she's still out there watching, maybe not. But if you ask me, sometimes the real heroes are the ones you never see coming. So what do you think? Did Linda deserve her peace or the recognition? What's real justice when the lines between heroism, trauma, and forgiveness get so damn blurry? Drop your thoughts below. And if you've ever seen Quiet Strength Change the World hit, like so more people hear stories like this. Because you never know what battles the person next to you is fighting.